A few years back, I beat Hitman 1 and 2 as jolly old Saint Nick, and I thought it was high time for another playthrough. But this time, I'm doing things slightly differently. Instead of playing through all 3 games in one video, I'm going to split them up into 3 separate videos spread out over the course of a few months. Now, Hitman is well known for its unique gameplay style, using various tools and weapons to eliminate your targets stealthily and efficiently. So today, I'm going to be asking the question, can you beat Hitman without using any items or weapons? Before I get into the rules, I need to make a clear distinction on what I mean. In Hitman, when you pick up a tool or a weapon, it appears in your inventory. However, things like keys, keycards and intel don't appear in your inventory, and it's impossible to beat the game without picking up these items because some missions require a keycard to be used to gain entrance to an objective, like getting to the virus in Sapienza. So, here are the rules. I'm not allowed to pick up any equipable items or any weapons, and I have to complete every level with at least a Silent Assassin rating. Disguises are allowed, but I have to start every level at the default starting point. Let's get started. First up, I'm taking a little trip to a fashion show to do 2 things. 1. Show off 47's perfect jawline, and 2. Commit the perfect murder. When I arrive at the Parisian Palace hosting said event, I scale this wall, then head up the drain pipe to get to the upper floors. Use this invalid's object permanence against him, hide him from view, and steal his clothes. Then I head straight for Dahlia's office bathroom. Use the tap to distract the guard, put him into a coma, shove him into a conveniently placed wardrobe, and wait for the whammon. When she finally appears, I knock out her simp, break her nose, and give her neck a good twist. After hiding them both, I head back down to the ground floor, and since I'm already disguised as security, I grab Decker and lead him to the meeting point. After he has a good old chinwag with the future corpse, Victor decides to have a well-needed break. So I decided to extend it. Permanently. After making my escape with my first Silent Assassin rating, I move on to my next assignment. The first thing I do is climb the guard tower, take out the bumbling idiots, and get myself a nice disguise to get me into the mansion. Before I eliminate Caruso, I thought it would be fun to use some psychological warfare on him. So after making him think that his mother's ghost has returned to dish out some corporal punishment, I clobber him, turn him into an owl, then hide his body. After this, I make my way to the ruins to get to the lab. After passing through undetected, I make my way to the cave holding the vile concoction. First, I need to take out the cameras, which is easily done after I clear the guards out of the security room. Then I disguise myself as one of the boffins, head into the lab, and distract the nerds. Which was way too easy. They should probably get tested for ADHD. Once I raise the temperature in the room to destroy the COVID, I do a few B&Es to get to the lower town, wake up the PI, knock him out, and take his clothes. Then after a nice brisk jog to the pier, when Francesca turns up, I can't be asked to listen to a single line of her crap. So I sock her one, and... okay, at this point I should probably say that there's going to be a lot of broken necks in this run. After sailing off into the sunset, I head to Marrakesh for some well-needed M&M. Meditation and murder. First, I'm going to take out Klaus. And to do it, I'm going to disguise myself as a masseuse so I can relax him to death. But first, I grab myself a rent-a-cop suit to get inside the embassy in the first place. Now that I am, to disguise myself as a masseuse, I had to really time it right to knock this guy out because so many people come into this stupid cantina. Once I finally managed to dump him into this crate whilst avoiding the piercing gazes of the invalids that patrol this abhorrent embassy, I meet up with Klaus to give him a massage that will make him so relaxed you could easily mistake him for a corpse. Now it's time for Razor Zaydan to meet his maker, which means I need to disguise myself as a soldier to get into his base. And when I do, I have to do the old Mr. Sandman routine and a couple more poor unfortunate souls, get an officer's outfit, relieve the guards and replace the prisoner. Then sit and wait for Razor to come and interrogate me. When he does, I add another broken neck to my journey to get the world record for the most neck injuries caused in the workplace, and I escape with another Silent Assassin rating. Next up is Bangkok, where the forecast is a humid 33 degrees with a 100% chance of murder. First, I head up to my room, and after some deliberation, I decided to call the housekeeping staff to get one of their disguises. Then I head up to the crew party, making sure to dodge the cameras along the way. Then I cure one of them of their hangover and steal a letter for Ken. Then place it at reception and head down to the place that he now thinks he will meet Dexy Barrett. But little does he know, the only person he will meet is death. Then I head back up to the unconscious crew member, take his clothes, and make my way to Jordan's studio. After changing into some fresh duds, the plan was to lure Dexy Barrett into a room so I could knock her out to set up the confession kill. But to my surprise, it wasn't Dexy that was lured into the room, it was the man himself. So I seized the opportunity and rang his bell. Then I wondered if I could drown him by dragging him under the overflowing tap. But after it unfortunately didn't work, I just resorted to becoming his underqualified chiropractor. Then I made like the wind, and now it's time for one of my most hated levels in gaming. Of course, I'm talking about Colorado. The first thing I did was knock out this militia soldier, hide his body, and steal his clothes. Then I had to stroll over to the tech tent to get a new disguise and an Interpol badge. Showed the badge to Penelope and waited for her by the bog. When she arrives, I sow the seed of paranoia, and while she goes down the rabbit hole of her mind, I push her into the putrid pit, with which she vanished without a trace. After trying my hand at being a scarecrow, I head over to the barracks and used the tap to lure the point man into the bathroom. Gave him some hand-to-hand anaesthetic, take his clothes, and reported to Maya. After trying not to fall asleep listening to this boring briefing, despite having orders to the contrary, I stood by and watched the other goons shoot at the limo, then tampered with the Ram safety controls and sent it flying towards Maya, crushing her against the car. Next up is Sean Rose, and to get to him, I need to sneak into the farmhouse. When I do, I get myself an elite disguise, destroy the CCTV, tamper with the clock, strangle the guard in his room, hide the body, then move the pencil on Sean's desk. And now we play the waiting game. When he finally shows up, he freaks out at the gall and the gumption of someone messing with his precious pencils and rushes off to have a quick cigarillo outside. After a while, he returns to inspect the bathroom, so I clobbered him, unscrewed his head, and hid him in the wardrobe in the other room. To get Ezra Berg, I had to follow him down to the basement and quickly enter before the door closes. Then I used a fuse box to distract and subdue one of the guards, and when Ezra leaves, I deal with the other one. Then I induce an overdose in the interrogation victim, which prompts Mr. Berg to swiftly return to see what all the hubbub is about. Then I pounce on him like a panther and make a quick getaway. With another silent assassin under my belt, it's time for the final mission. So I'm taking a trip to Hokkaido. After taking a while to decide who to take out first, eventually I decided Yuki was to be my first victim. I started by climbing over to Dexter's room and summoned the doctors, lured one into the toilet, put him to sleep, and took his clothes. Then I used the outfit to get into Jason's room and climbed over to Dexy's. Hid in the bathroom and lured the two guards chilling on the sofa, so I could give them some well-needed naps and get a new outfit. When Yuki came in, she was instantly distracted by the toilet, so I realigned her jaw, corkscrewed her head, then waited for her guards to leave and hid her in the wardrobe in the living room. Next up is Sodas. And trust me when I say, getting to him was the longest I've spent on a target thus far. First, I tried climbing down to the morgue to get to the heart, but there is no way of getting the two guards chilling inside the room where it's located to move from their spots without throwing something to lure them, so that method was instantly erased from the drawing board. After a really long time of thinking of a tactic to get to him, I eventually decided to disguise myself as the director so I can shut down Kai and disrupt the surgery. Getting to him though proved to be quite the problem. First I tried luring him into the bathroom with this tap, to no avail. Then I tried luring him into the bathroom by getting him to notice me and running away at the last second. This also didn't work. I even tried setting off the blasted fire alarms, but he didn't even flinch. After racking my brains for a bit, I eventually resorted to turning off the bridge lights, which lured him over to this fuse box. Knocked out the gardener, then the director, took his clothes, then dragged them both into the sauna control room to hide the bodies. Gave Kai brain damage, then set the surgery to kill my target. After this, I made my escape with the final silent assassin rating, and with that, it turns out you can beat Hitman without using any tools or weapons. This was probably the most tactical playthrough I've done on Hitman, and I was on the edge of my seat more than once. I would highly recommend trying this for yourself. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe? It helps out the channel massively. Plus, if you turn on the notification bell, you get to watch more juicy content from yours truly when it releases. If you want to support me further, consider joining as a channel member. You get early access to videos, and a mention in them for being such a legend. If there's a specific video you want to see, or you just want to have a chat, drop a comment down below, and I'll see you next time.